Welcome to Buy, Hold, Sell. My name's Matthew Kidman, and today I've got Chris Stott from Wilson Asset Management and Don Williams from Platypus. Welcome, gentlemen, and today we're talking big caps. September quarter was nasty. The market was down over 7%, and we were down about 18% since the peak in April, and it's been all in that big end of the market. Don, let's start with you. Buy, hold, or sell. Telstra down from its peaks, not as bad as the overall market, but obviously struggling with a lot more competition.
Yeah, but in this environment, it's a really tough earnings environment. I think Telstra's a buy, given the alternatives that you can invest in the top end of the market.
Chris, you like Telstra? Still a good yield?
Telstra's a hold, Matthew. A bit of cost growth coming into that business over the next few years under the new CEO there, Penn. However, the yield is still quite compelling. Around that 6 or so % level, and the cash rate's not going to move any higher in the short term. So it's a hold now for the yield.
Let's go with the banks. They've been under the pump. Capital raisings, they got expensive. Now everyone's talking about the yields back. CBA, buy, hold or sell.
It's a hold as well, Matthew. They've certainly come off almost 25% off their highs since April. However, the outlook for the Australian economic growth here in Australia remains quite anemic, and the sell-off in CBA's share price, as well as the other major banks, suggests that there might be potential downside to earnings, we think, over the next 12 to 18 months, but it's hold for now.
Don, do you like CBA? It's always considered the best of the banks, best of breed.
Yeah, look, it's the one that we've typically had the highest weighting in, and sometimes it's the only bank that we hold. But we're less. I guess we're less enamoured with it at the moment because there's very little earnings growth in the sector, and we're dramatically underweight. We only own two of the four majors, and they're not particularly big positions.
Okay, let's move away from finance and get our hands dirty. Let's go to resources. BHP, it's been going down for 3 or 4 years now. Buy, hold or sell?
I'd sell it because I think it'll continue to go sideways for another couple of years. I think it'll take that long for, potentially the global growth pulse to get a little bit higher, and hopefully by then there's been a bit more discipline in the iron ore market, which is what's really hurting BHP at the moment.
So a hold or a sell?
That's a sell.
Okay. Chris, it used to be the big Australian. Now it's probably called the medium-sized Australian. Buy, hold or sell BHP?
Sell the recent rally in BHP, Matthew. We're still not close to a bottom in the resources cycle, probably another year or two away, we think. And until then, it will remain a sell.
All right, energy. Woodside's been the strong man of a very poor sector. It's prepared to do corporate deals or put it on the table. Buy, hold or sell?
Again, I'd put that on a sell just because we're not positive on oil prices on a circa 1 year view. But you have to continually go back and readdress your thesis for why you don't own any energy in your portfolio. So if we can monitor that properly, then hopefully we can get back in at a decent time.
Chris, you a bit more bullish?
Slightly. Woodside a hold for us, Matthew. The oil price has been sold off aggressively in the last year or so, which we've spoken about. So a hold for now, waiting for volatility to come out of the spot market until we can have confidence from the buy side. Okay,
not far off the mark, but let's go from petroleum, which we put into our cars, to blood, which we put in our body, CSL.
CSL is a hold as well, Matthew. The valuation at 21 times PE is below its longer term average. Quite a relatively defensive stock in a volatile market, so hold.
Hold. Do you like blood, Don? We've all got to have it.
Yeah, look, CSL is a good place to hide. We don't own it at the moment, and the reason for that is the earnings per share growth rate, which has averaged well over double digits since it listed. We think that's dissipating to very low single digit numbers, and on that basis, we think the multiple's a little bit too high.
There you go, big, not beautiful, and probably getting uglier.